In the history of video games, there have been certain games and series that have been rebooted or remade. Whether it's for the video game companies to score some quick cash or to introduce an older series to a new generation of gamers, these games have been given a fresh coat of paint, so to speak, and given life once again. So, now for the rules. Only one game per series, only games I've played can be on this list. I've had to have played the original and the remake/reboot for the game to qualify on this list, and the game has to be a remake or a reboot, not just an updated console port with some HD graphics that look the exact same as the last version.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice.
This is Crow of Murder 15's Top 10 Reboots/Remakes.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Wait, don't turn off the video, let me explain first. Before you ask, no, I do not think DMC is better than the other Devil May Cry games. But you can't say that this isn't a fun game. DMC takes the original Devil May Cry story and gives it a few twists and turns and tries to modernize it. Does it do this task well? Kind of, I guess. But where this game really shines is its combat. The fluid style of fighting that is well known in the Devil May Cry series is still intact and in my opinion even improves on it. It's lowest on the list because, oh come on guys, do I even need to say it?
You're an asshole!
And so are you, wannabe Dante.
Things always gotta be complicated.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Probably one of the first remakes made, Super Mario AllStars took Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 and gave them updated graphics and even new music and sounds. Personally, I preferred playing the AllStars versions rather than the original, and you're talking about someone who grew up with the original NES versions. This game also included Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which everyone knows is actually the real Super Mario Bros. 2, and you all know the story. But if you don't know the story, this is what happened. A long time ago...
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Alright, sheesh.
Old and busted, new hotness.
When it came to Disney games, Capcom knew exactly what they were doing, even back in the days of the NES, with such games as Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, and DuckTales, especially that last one. A few years ago, Capcom released a remastered version of this fantastic game. Not only were the graphics given an upgrade to look like the original 90s cartoon, but all of the surviving voice actors from the show reprised their roles for this game. The story was also stretched out a little bit more than the original game. This might also be a good time to state that DuckTales is coming back to TV with a reboot of the cartoon series with David Tennant as Scrooge. And I swear, if there's no Doctor Who references in any of the episodes, I'm gonna be upset.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Some people might be surprised this isn't my number one, but no. That being said, most of you know I love Mega Man X, so whenever Mega Man Maverick Hunter X came out for the PSP, I had to get it. 3D graphics, updated music, and a more in-depth look at the story of the original Mega Man X. Plus, after beating the game, you were able to play as Vile. Still wish you could play as Zero, but then again, that's what Mega Man X4 is for. I'd love to see them do something like this for the other Mega Man X games with newer gen consoles, but we all know that Capcom doesn't give a shit about Mega Man anymore, so I guess we'll settle for this.
What's the matter, X? Aren't you gonna show me your true power?
Old and busted, new hotness.
Now this one's probably going to be the sleeper on the list. Back in the late 90s, a game was created called Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. It was a unique game where you tried to free your buddies from the clutches of Rupture Farms. You had to use voice commands in order to guide them to the escape portals. After a few sequels, they remade Abe's Odyssey for new-gen consoles, and it is great. The graphics and voices have been updated, and there's a few hidden surprises that were added in that weren't in the original. This one's not for everyone, focusing more on puzzle solving rather than actual combat, but it's definitely worth a look at.
So back off, Stitch Lips.
But no.
Old and busted, new hotness.
As previously stated in another Top 10 countdown, fans were begging for a new Killer Instinct to be made. Not only did they get their wish, but they got a complete reboot to the whole series that included characters from KI 1, 2, and even some new characters. The updated graphics and fighting system are fantastic. I like the fact that you could even use the old looks of the characters from KAI 1 and 2, even giving a retro look to some of the new characters as well. I think we've seen the last of updates as far as characters goes, but it would still be nice to see a few more cameo characters put in there as well. Who knows, maybe an updated Juno from Jet Force Gemini? No? No one else think that'd be cool? Okay.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Pokemon started doing remakes around Generation 3 with the release of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I know almost everyone flipped out whenever Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby came out, but for me there were two remakes that hold a special place in my heart for my favorite generation of Pokemon: Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Soul Silver to be exact. It might sound silly, but one of the main reasons I picked these instead of the other remakes was the Pokemon that was first in your party actually followed you around while you were exploring the world. I don't know why, but it made me feel a stronger connection with certain Pokemon that I trained rather than them just being a team to beat up other Pokemon with. It was even funnier whenever you had a legendary or gigantic Pokemon following you. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just walking my Steelix.
Old and busted, new hotness.
9 times out of 10, if people are talking about the first Resident Evil, they're talking about the remake rather than the original PS1 version. Graphics that were beautifully updated, voiceover work that actually sounds halfway decent, and the environment finally capturing that feeling of loneliness inside a mansion full of zombies and abominations. And then there was the lovely addition of the Crimson Head zombies. If you didn't torch a zombie whenever you shot it down and quote-unquote killed it, or got a complete headshot decapitating it, it has the potential of coming back as a Crimson Head, a faster, stronger zombie that takes more shots and can dish out a lot more damage. I'm just glad with this remake they actually kept the Jill sandwich line.
A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks.
Old and busted, new hotness.
This was very close to being number one, but misses the mark by just a little. The 2011 Mortal Kombat reboot is a reboot done right, revisiting everything that made the original game great, improving upon it for new generation consoles. The game takes place right after the events of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and Raiden sends a message to his past self at the events of Mortal Kombat 1. From there, the game plays the original Mortal Kombat as far as story goes, but then around the midway through the story of Mortal Kombat 2, things start to change a little, such as Smoke being saved and Sub-Zero being captured for the Cyber Initiative instead. The gameplay is great along with the new designs of the characters and the simplicity of the controls. My only complaint, and this is just nitpicking, is that the PS3 version got Kratos as a bonus character and 360 users like myself didn't get squat. Why are we not worthy enough for someone from Gears of War or Halo as a bonus character?
You will not see the end of this day.
Old and busted, new hotness.
Some reboots / remakes keep the same material that the original game had, like Mortal Kombat. Others decide to go a whole new direction like DMC Devil May Cry. My number one is the latter of these two, but done in a way that is fantastic. Tomb Raider. I'm not gonna lie, I was never a huge fan of the original Tomb Raider games, but when I saw the trailer for this new Tomb Raider, I was hyped. The story follows Lara Croft's origins, learning how to strive on her own, what it really takes to survive. Throughout her journey, she comes across many hardships, losing friends, being thrown into a lot of unfortunate events, and hardening herself to become the Tomb Raider she was destined to be one day. The gameplay, story, graphics, and just the overall theme makes this reboot work. If you're a fan of the original Tomb Raider series, then you're going to love this reboot. And that's why Tomb Raider is my number one video game remake / reboot. I'm Crow of Murder 15, and now I've got some tombs to explore.